Howdy, howdy. Welcome to Sunday School, Miss Wesley. I am so glad you've taken the opportunity to join us in Sunday School. Whether it is your first time joining us or you are a repeat offender, we are so glad you want to further your knowledge in the Bible. So, if you're new, I'll give you the brief rundown and then we will start our lesson. But I have, as you can see, a Sunday school class online. And I do 10-week lessons, lesson plans, and all different themes. And our current theme is the godly connection. And this is episode 9. So next week, the next episode will be our last one in this series. And then we start on our new, exciting, flaming hot series. So let's get started with our lesson. We are learning about the power of prayer. And I'm calling it, It Shimmers and It Shines. So, if you joined us in our last episode, which was, what was it called? You're saying it. What was it called? It was about Moses speaking to a rock. And I told you would be needing these things. If you're new and joining us, you have no idea that you would need a toilet paper roll. But it's okay, because these videos are online and you can watch them at any time you want. So, we will need a toilet paper roll. Make sure it is clean. Remove all toilet paper from it. And we like to recycle, reduce, and reuse around here. So, I have this. You're also going to need some paper to cut into toilet paper size roll, and see there, to wrap it around there. You're going to need confetti and glue and some balloons. So, very simple project. Really simple. So, and I forgot my scissors. Oh well. I'll be right. I got scissors. Got a balloon. Alright. We're gonna do this real quick. Watch. Take your glue. Okay. You take your piece of paper. Draw whatever design you'd like. I know some of you are all like, if you are a Pinterest follower and you have looked for craft activities before, you're going, I know this activity. I know this one. Really simple. Alright. You take your glue. Put it on the back of your piece of paper. Do not put too much glue, which is really hard if you're a kid. So if you have kids and you're doing this project, I suggest using glue sticks. It doesn't hold as well, but you won't have glue everywhere. And then you take your toilet paper roll, take your piece of paper, and you roll it onto your roll. And then press it down. There we go. Make sure it's on the roll there. Alright. Make sure it's even. You don't have to, but you know, this is the way we roll around here. Literally. Okay, so you could wait until it dries, but if you're doing this with kids, there's no way that they're gonna let you wait for it. So take your balloon, make sure you kind of stretch it out. And then you want to tie a knot at the end. Okay, you got your knot in your balloon. Then you cut the top off of it. And then you roll it up. And you want to stretch it out. See, stretch it. And then you want to put it on the bottom of your toilet paper roll. And there you have it. Done. Thought it was easy. And you're like, what is that? If you have ever seen one before. Alright. So, I got my glitter here. And since we're all done with all of this, all I need is the glitter right now. And we will get into the lesson. So if you haven't ever seen one, there's these things. And they're party poppers. And they have confetti in them. Now, last year, my brother got married, and they had these. And these things, we popped them outside when they came out of the church house instead of, and we blew bubbles. But these things, the confetti was on the ground for months afterwards. In fact, sometimes you can still see the confetti. It made it through the winter and everything. Now, my confetti, I made it out of paper, so it's biodegradable. So, hopefully, if you take it outside, because I recommend you do, and not inside like I'm about to do, it will disintegrate instead of sticking around. But I put glitter in here. Let's laugh without glitter. And so, glitter sticks around forever. I mean, you can find it everywhere in my house. One day, I had put all my glitter, got it out, and I was in the back porch where I had put the glitter. And it was green glitter. And I did not know that it was open. I accidentally knocked it off. Glitter fell all over the floor. I am still finding glitter in my house, and this happened a year and a half ago. Winter and the Christmas time, I believe Christmas should be the season of glitter. So yes, there's glitter all over my house. I find it all the time. Now, what does this have to do with your lesson? Well, our prayers go up to God. And they're in this room, the Bible says. And every once in a while, the angels come and they take the vial off. A pot or a bottle. Take the bottle off the shelf. And they take it before the throne of God, and there's like this little altar there. And they pour it out, and it becomes a big old cloud of smoke and it goes down, and answers our prayers. Don't worry, I'm going to clean it up. It comes down to earth. And your one prayer that you pray for like one person or you pray for a thing, it spreads everywhere. Like confetti. It goes all over the place. Your one prayer, it doesn't just affect one person. It affects a whole bunch of people because this one person you prayed for has a whole bunch of other people around them. And that one person, it affects them, but it also affects everybody else. See, prayer, that's one of the reasons why prayer is so important. Other than the fact that it continues our relationship with God. I mean, if you have a relationship with your best friend or your husband or wife or whatever, or your mom, your dad, whoever is in your life, if you stop talking to them, if all of a sudden you just stop talking to your family, you stop talking to your best friend, you stop talking to your spouse, that relationship you have, or even if the guy down the street, or your banker, if you stop talking to that person, your relationship discontinues, right? Or it becomes, it just becomes awkward. Have you ever had a friend and you haven't talked to them for a while and you run into them, let's say at the store, and you haven't talked to them in ages? There's this awkwardness, right? Now imagine God, who is our best friend, is our best friend, our guide, he's our guru, he's the man we go to when everything is happening. He's the guide for our lives. He is our Father and our Creator. He is everything wrapped up in one. And imagine you stop talking to him. And then all of a sudden you start talking to him again because things are going wrong in your life and there's this awkwardness. I remember you. When's the last time you talked to me? Yeah, God kind of feels like that. Hey, you've had plenty of opportunities to talk to me. I can hear your very thoughts. And when we start talking to God again, our relationship starts sparkling. It glistens. It's like confetti. It's kind of special. You know, you kind of smile when you see confetti, right? You can't help it. It's a party factor. It just makes you feel good inside. Your relationship with God is kind of like that. It kind of sparkles. It shines. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. It makes you happy. The better relationship you have with God, it's like confetti. It makes you happy. It makes you want to continue more and more and get better and better. And it shines and it sparkles. And it glistens. And even in the darkest places, it still shines because it's confetti and it makes you happy. Even when everything is wrong. Because you have a good relationship with your best friend. With your with the being that helps you, takes care of you, knows everything about you, and you have a wonderful relationship with him. And it sparkles. And everybody else can see that relationship too. And when you pray for someone else, they get that sparkle too. And they get shiny, and they get the confetti too. And the confetti goes to another person, and another person. It just spreads out. Because you have a relationship with God through prayer. With prayer, everything sparkles. Now, I told you the story at the beginning of me dumping out my glitter. And it just got everywhere, and I'm still finding glitter everywhere. When you pray for someone, that glitter gets into their heart. And sometimes you don't see, when they pour out that vial and out that bottle and it comes down to earth and that piece of glitter hits someone's heart, sometimes you don't see it at first. But that glitter's still there. I still find glitter everywhere. Your prayers are still being answered. And one day, they're going to find that piece of glitter, and one day it's just going to sparkle. And it's going to explode. And they're going to have confetti in their hearts. It's awesome the way we can feel when we have a good connection with God. I mean, it's better than any friendship you could ever have, because you have a person that knows everything about you. Even when you're having a bad day or your thoughts are just, they're not right. They're not good thoughts. And God, I mean, most people would be afraid to hear what's going on, or God hears it all. And He takes that confetti in your heart. He goes, and it sparkles all over again. Because your prayers, just, that's the power of your prayer. It's more than just being answers. I mean, it's good to pray for people. It's good to spread the confetti everywhere. But the confetti's in your heart too. And that's what your prayers are. It's confetti. Yeah. That's the name of the lesson. Prayers are like confetti. And don't worry, I'll clean up the mess. Oh. But if we continue our lives, I know there's very few verses that could, in the Bible, that could, but a relationship with God is one of the things that's most talked about in the Bible. And it shines and it glistens, and it's a beautiful thing, and it sparkles in your heart. It is a beautiful connection to God. And it revives us in our lives so that others can see the sparkle too. They can see your prayer life. People can see when you've gotten a good connection and when you don't. Believe it or not, it actually shows. So there's this week's lesson. I hope it's easy to understand. I know it's an interesting concept that your prayers are like confetti. And that it is a wonderful relationship with God that can be like confetti. And I have a mess to clean up. Like I said, if you want to do this lesson at home, do take it outside. Alright. That was this week's episode. I hope you stay tuned for next episode. This is our last episode of the series, and it is about it's about trust. It is a very interesting lesson. All of these lessons in this series have been interesting. I would have never thought of confetti if God hadn't brought it to my mind that prayer is like confetti. It spreads everywhere. It doesn't just affect one person. It doesn't affect just you. It doesn't affect just, it sparkles and it shines. It comes down from heaven and it lands everywhere. Prayer is our ultimate blessing. To be able to talk to the God of the universe to, I mean, if you knew mythology and you heard all the stories and how they had to go and do all this and then just to know that there is a God that wasn't listening to them. And then here we have a true God. They were worshiping false gods. Here we have a true God. And he loves us so much. He listens to us. He talks to us. This being, this ultimate being that created everything, takes the time to know us individually. Not as a mass scale, but individually. Knows what's in our hearts, knows what's in our minds, knows what our very intentions are. And he loves us so much that he wants a relationship with us. It is so special. And it's so shiny and good. And if you ever want to know what it's like to have confetti in your heart, please take an opportunity to. If you know what it's like to have confetti in your heart, to know what it's like to have a good prayer life with the man with the being, with the ultimate being who knows who you are, isn't that wonderful? Isn't it great? Okay, so again, that's this week's lesson. I hope you take it to heart. I'm going to end this episode like I always do. I love you guys. God loves you, and there is nothing you can do about it. So remember, no matter where you are in this life, you are loved. Goodbye.